I'm Tim, welcome to Watch You Want, and thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the Linde Werdelin Spidolite II Tech Green, one of only 75 made in forged carbon, brushed and polished ceramic, and Alloy Linde Werdelin. You can see, and if you like, you can buy the Spidolite 2 on our website, watchyouwant.com. And if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. Now, on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see that this no-holds-barred rival to Hublot and AP fits like a charm. It is big, it is bold, but I can tell you that from an ergonomic standpoint, the Danish firm has the leg up on its rivals, and this is why. First and foremost, the case, though approximately 15.5 millimeters thick, is incredibly light. Alloy Linde Werdelin ceramic and evacuated forged carbon means this watch only weighs 82 grams. Even the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Bumblebee forged carbon weighs over 100. This is an incredibly light watch. It's the kind that's going to lead you to shoot panicked glances at your wrist just to double check that the thing's still there. That's a function of lightness, and it's a function of comfort. You can see the case back is kind of conical, so it has a little bit of a tendency to nestle into the wrist and actually sit lower than its nominal 15 or so millimeters suggests. And because it does have that sloping flank designed to interface with Linde Werdelin sports computers, and the bezel has a relatively flat plane and low stance, it does have a good chance of slipping under a jacket or blazer cuff. So this is a watch that will be compatible with all but the tightest dress sleeves. Now, what I'd like to emphasize here is that Linde Werdelin does something that Hublot and AP do not effectively leverage, which is inserting the strap into the lug so it's actually countersunk into the lug rather than starting where the lug ends. It actually gets a head start by being inset and then beginning its curvature down and around the wrist before the flank of the lug even ends. As a result, you can see just how tight this watch can effectively be buckled around a smaller wrist. It has a built-in arc and curvature to it. So from an ergonomic standpoint, you can see once this watch is on my wrist, not only does it fit nice and tight, secure, without any gaps or overhang of the lugs beyond my wrist, but it's so well curved that even at an angle, it will stay put. It's actually pre-curved to conform to the wrist. Ergonomically, Linde Werdelin aces this. Now, aesthetically, the ergonomics and the look of the watch stem from the same materials science fair sort of disposition of the watch. You've got sapphire, you've got ceramic, you've got forged carbon, titanium, Alloy Linde Werdelin, you've got textile and calfskin in the same strap, and all of these materials make it wear light and comfortable and make it look like nothing else. This looks like a sci-fi movie for your wrist, possibly one with aliens in it. If you look at the watch, it's skeletal, evacuated, every element from the flanks of the case, and you can see inset script for Spidolite and Alloy Linde Werdelin, as well as the serial number of the 75 units. This one is number 1. That's what that's all about. And you're glancing the Alloy Linde Werdelin inner core through the skeletonized forged carbon outer shell. This is very much built like an alien xenomorph, and you get that sense that you're looking at some sort of H.R. Geiger creation. It has that kind of look and feel to it. Sci-fi, but sci-real, because this watch with a ceramic bezel is tough enough to be worn every day. Now, Linde Werdelin has raised the ceramic bezel above the flanks of the forged carbon, so it's most likely to deflect any blows or scuffs this watch may absorb. Smart, because the ceramic, here evacuated, brushed, and polished, is virtually as scratch-resistant and hard as sapphire itself. Short of a truly catastrophic blow, something that would probably leave you with a little bit of battle damage, or contact with diamond tools, nothing is going to mar this bezel or this crystal. Alloy Linde Werdelin internally, because it's advertised as lighter than both steel and titanium, I believe that its primary components likely include large amounts of aluminum and or magnesium. And the effect, again, on the wrist and in the hand is startling. This is an incredibly light watch. I'm surprised that it doesn't include helium on its materials composition list. The dial is up to the standard of the rest of the design. If it's tech-inspired, almost biomorphic on the outside, on the inside, likewise, you feel you're looking at the skeleton of some sort of dead alien. I can see the bronzed date disc at 3 o'clock. It glimmers, it glares, it shines, it glints in the sun, and in direct light, it really explodes. Now you can see the perlage on the actual works of the movement right next to it. You can see part of the keyless works. You can see part of the MotionWorks wheels. There's a great deal that's revealed, and from different angles you get different effects, seeing different parts of what lies beneath. The dial is both intricate and complex, and legible and simple at the same time. Intricate and complex because of what lies beneath and the many cutouts that allow you to view it from many different angles, as you can see, but also simple because with broad, fully loomed, partly skeletonized trapeze hands, you can always tell the time. Now, simple slash indices denote the hours, and in terms of indications, you've got hours, minutes, seconds, and a date. That's it. It's all you need. Most of the visual interest, the impact of this watch, is in the incredible intricacy and nuance of its details. Again, you've got just a few basic colors, but beautifully rendered, very striking. And the watch is striking on both sides. Now, this is where Linde Werdelin continues to sort of open a gap of advantage over Hublot. Although both use Valjoux 7750 based automatic calibers built by movement partners like Concepto, and this is a Concepto movement. Linde Werdelin specifies a different standard of finish that really creates visual interest where Hublot, using a similar movement, sort of falls short. You've got this fully skeletonized and blackened Linde Werdelin blazon rotor winding the works, and also, as you can see, revealing some of the interesting details beneath, so you don't get one of the traditional Achilles heels of an automatic movement, namely that you can't see what's under the rotor. Here you partly can. There's visual interest created by unusual finishes. Now you can see there's both a satin and a perlage pattern here. Now, satin on bridges, balance cock, and main plate is unusual. Generally you see perlage there. The only other watchmaker I know that routinely puts perlage on bridges is Zenith, and you get a little bit of the Leloc manufacturer's aesthetic here, and that's to the advantage of the Linde Werdelin caliber LW04 that you see. Concepto does a great job of creating variety. The golden hues of the wheels and balance, the violet gems, or pivot jewels I should say, polished screws in tandem with blued screws, different textural finishes, and of course the PVD skeletonized rotor. It is an impressive sight, and it definitely adds value to the watch. Now, the movement itself features a 42-hour power reserve. It does have a hacking function, so when you pull the crown, it will stop the balance and allow you to synchronize precisely to a reference timer. And that's a good thing, because automatic, reliable, and precise, the watch also has compatibility with Linde Werdelin's modular dive computers, well, I should say dive and land sport computers, the Reef and the Rock, respectively. Although the Spidolite line is oriented toward land sports, it is 100-meter or 330-foot water resistant, so you do have the option of using this as a true all-purpose sports watch. Short of truly deep diving, this watch can answer the bell for almost any adventure you have planned. Now, the modularity of those dive computers, designed and built by Linde Werdelin, revolves around these docking points on either flank of the case. You simply clip them on, and all of a sudden you go from a sort of romantic, old-school mechanical movement in a high-tech package to a truly 21st century sporting instrument. The Reef has everything from multiple dive timers to depth gauges to thermometers and computerized data logging with a backlight. The Rock has avalanche sensors, barometers, built-in compass, again multiple timers and data logging. They bring this watch a dimension that no other sports watch in its class can boast. That's truly unique, and it's a signature of Linde Werdelin. And I'll really conclude my discussion of this watch by mentioning that modularity, both visually and technically, is one of the hallmarks of Linde Werdelin's Spido and Octopus lines. You can see the bolts that hold the strap in. Well, you can remove them easily with a hex key, and Linde Werdelin offers a universe of replacement straps in textile, rubber, different leathers, many different colors, as well as your choice of many different pin buckles and deployment options. So if you want to change the look of the watch, you can do that just as easily as on any Panerai or Hublot. This is a watch that marches to the beat of a Danish drummer. Unique, but at the same time, every inch the competitor, every inch the equal, possibly even the superior to other oversized sports watches made by larger manufacturers. It's a completely original take on the genre. You can see this Linde Werdelin Spidolite II Tech Green, one of only 75 made, and you can swim, fly, or buy to take it home on watchyouwant.com.